Hello, I'm Kimilia and this is KiniNews. No action, talk only. Saddiq Abdul Rahman took a swipe at the unity government, criticizing its snail's pace with reforms. Separation of powers and equal funding for all MPs are among the issues taken up by the Muda president today. Muar MP Saddiq Abdul Rahman has slammed Anwar Ibrahim's government for allegedly failing to fulfill promised reforms. Speaking in a press conference in Parliament today, the Muda president said these were situations that the government could control.
Realitinya ni kerajaan NATO. No action, talk only. Kata nak isytihar harta, dah 8 bulan tak isytihar lagi. Kata nak berikan peruntukan yang adil dan saksama, selepas beberapa bulan, RM0 Malaysia. Kata nak lawan rasuah, tak nak gugurkan kes, masih berulang lagi, masih gugurkan juga.
He was responding to the remark by Law and Institutional Reform Minister Azalina Othman Said in Parliament today on the government's commitment to reforms. Saddiq, who earlier this month quit the government bloc in Parliament, also said he is willing to consider supporting the government to vote on matters that benefit the rakyat.
Saya dah berikan komitmen dari awal berkenaan reforms. Jikalau perlukan undian tambahan Muar, kami akan berikan komitmen untuk menyokong. Jangan berselindung di sebalik, tidak ada sokongan politik, tidak ada kestabilan. Ini adalah kerajaan, kalau diikut daripada soal undi di Parlimen, yang paling stabil berdekad-dekad lama sejak zaman Tun Abdullah Badawi.
Earlier, Azalina Othman Said chides Perikatan Nasional for its inaction after 2 years at the helm in Putrajaya. Law and Institutional Reform Minister Azalina Othman Said this morning fired a salvo at Perikatan Nasional for not separating the powers of the Attorney General and Public Prosecutor when they were the government. This comes after opposition leader Hamzah Zainuddin alleged that the current administration was practicing selective prosecution against opposition leaders, including PN Chairperson Muhyiddin Yassin.
Bila yang berhormat kena, selective prosecution. Bila belah sini kena, padan muka. Apa hal? Sebabnya, dalam isu ni, kami di sini cakap kami buat. Yang berhormat di sana, bukan saja tak buat, cakap pun tak.
Azalina said it is unfair for PN to cry selective prosecution because the power to charge and withdraw any charge is solely under the Attorney General's discretion. Hamzah earlier claimed that the government had persecuted Muhyiddin by dragging him to court, which later acquitted and discharged him from 4 counts of power abuse charges. In conjunction with Malaysia Day, from now to 20th September, you can subscribe or renew your Malaysia Kini package with 20% off. Click the link in the description below or scan the QR code on your screen to enjoy this exclusive offer. Meanwhile, the Slamat Malaysia Organizing Committee said more pressure will be put on Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim and the government if they continue to ignore the movement's demands. Tun Faisal Ismail Aziz has warned that Perikatan Nasional might organize another protest if their 3 demands are ignored. The Bersatu leader was speaking to reporters outside the Dangwangi District Police Headquarters in Kuala Lumpur after being quizzed today.
Kita ada 3 tuntutan. Dakwa, kedua kita minta dibebaskan SPRM dan juga Jabatan Peguam Negara daripada kuasa eksekutif, dan yang ketiga kita minta keadilan yang jelas untuk semua pihak. Jangan ada untuk rakyat satu standard yang lain, untuk pemimpin kerajaan satu standard yang lain. So apa yang kita minta, dakwa semula yang pertamanya Datuk Seri Zahid Hamidi lah. Dan kalau tidak, kita mungkin akan buat benda yang sama. Kita akan turun lagi sekali lah, minta kerajaan beri perhatian.
Apart from the gathering, Tun Faisal said the police also questioned him on the report he lodged on the same day regarding Zahid being granted DNAA. Yesterday, Deputy Inspector General of Police Ayub Khan Maidin Piche said 25 people would be questioned over the 16th September gathering, which the authorities claimed did not comply with the Peaceful Assembly Act 2012.
We are often faced with nutrient deficiency needed for our body. This is why I choose G-Sure. G-Sure is the first plant-based and complete nutrition drink that helps to improve the immune system and strengthen our bodies. It has to be Good Morning G-Sure.
Moving on to the next story, Kye Jamaludin has launched a scathing attack on Lim Kit Siang over the latter's one-liner reaction to Zahid Hamidi's DNAA. Former UMNO Youth Chief Kye Jamaludin has slammed DAP veteran Lim Kit Siang and accuses him of cleansing his new best friend UMNO. Kye was referring to Lim's statement that he was stunned and shocked over the DNAA granted to Deputy Prime Minister Ahmad Zahid Hamidi in the Yayasan Akal Budi case. In a Facebook statement, Kye asked Lim if that was all he had to say about Zahid's case when he said so much about everything else throughout his political career. In a blog post published last Friday, Lim also slammed Perikatan Nasional for allegedly causing division among the rakyat. Kye, however, took offense to this. In a separate Facebook post, Kye also took a jab at Bentong MP Yang Shafura Othman for justifying PH-UMNO cooperation at federal and state levels. He shared a screenshot of a Sinar Harian article in which the DAP leader said she wants to change the youth's perception of politics after the two former foes are working together. As the caption to the post, Kye wrote the first half of a famous Malay poem and urged netizens to complete the remainder. A ministry official denies that Perdana fellow with dodgy credentials is still with the Investment, Trade and Industry Ministry after a WhatsApp conversation went viral. A Perdana Fellowship scholar who presented a false certificate to join the program is no longer attached to the Investment, Trade and Industry Ministry. A ministry spokesperson confirmed this in a response to a Malaysia Kini query on the allegation. This comes after a purported screenshot of WhatsApp messages between the scholar and a special officer to the minister, Tengku Zafrul Abdul Aziz, had gone viral. The shared image, which appeared to have been posted on Instagram, claimed that the scholar was told to carry out his duties as usual. The message also claimed that a recent press statement issued on his fake certificate case was only to keep the public quiet. Surya Zainal, the officer implicated in the viral image, had since shut down the screenshot as fabricated. According to an online news portal Scoop, she would also lodge a police report on the matter. Last week, it was reported that a Perdana Fellowship scholar stationed at the ministry has been terminated from the program for allegedly falsifying information about his achievements. In a statement, the Youth and Sports Ministry announced that the individual had presented a false certificate for one of the achievements he listed during the application to the program. Malaysians have become addicted to eating out and are spending a considerable portion of their earnings every month to satiate such a habit. Economy Minister Rafizi Ramli, however, said Malaysians cannot be blamed for it.
It is true that our households spend considerable portion of their earnings to buy basically cooked food. And that's not the same, even in Korea. In other countries, in other economies, eating out is seen as a leisure thing. You spend a lot more buying raw materials, cooking it, eating in, every now and then you go out.
This, he added, makes local households more sensitive to knock-on inflation on the price of cooked food, even when headline inflation has declined. However, Rafizi said the people are not to be blamed, attributing this to the unintended consequences of policies of the past.
We are addicted to imported food because for many decades, we don't think that it's worthwhile doing it because we had enough money to import. And we are paying the price now.
By doing it, you mean producing food?
Producing raw food, even things like chili and ginger, we import. Because, it was not worth doing. And then, after about 20, 30 years, if we tell people that, it's worth doing, and say, how, it's very difficult to convince society that it's something that is worth doing.
Food spending for consumption at home, including groceries, is generally higher in Malaysia than in many economies in Asia. In 2021, Malaysian households spent 27.5% of disposable income on food consumed at home, compared to 12.8% in South Korea or 8.4% in Singapore, according to Economic Research Service of the United States Department of Agriculture. And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you would like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Kimilia. Thanks for watching.